Well, it's great to be back in Assembly Hall in front of our fans. It was nice to have some noise, some real noise, right? And so we were obviously excited for this night to be here. And, you know, it's always a great opportunity when you can play your entire team and get to just to see you know, some of the things we've been doing in practice, and if they're going to work, if they're working, if we're getting better. I thought tonight our effort was there. Of course, it wasn't, you know, by any stretch of the means, a great offensive performance. I thought we had moments. I was frustrated with our free throw shooting, obviously, and the fact that we got out rebounded. That's never a good thing. But I overheard Mackenzie talking about. You know, what this will give us is just good film, great film that we can, you know, do a lot of teaching, you know, come tomorrow. But you know, I thought for the first night, anytime that it's the first time for things, you know, for our freshmen, especially in Caitlin Hose, I thought they handled themselves in a great way. So that was obviously good to see. But you know, I think our vets are who they are and who they have been. But we'll shore up some things tomorrow, and then you know, on come Wednesday in Indianapolis, it's for real. So.
Questions for Coach? Get your steps in. All right, I want to talk about Chloe. So she played the most minutes of anybody in the game. So, and she isn't one of your starters. So what did you see from her tonight that was so incredibly special? You know, first game of the season.
Well, I think one of the things it's sometimes a challenge to do, and you know, Chloe's not a freshman. Obviously, she had some experience, not a ton of experience last year, but I thought what Chloe did was she came off the bench ready. You know, and sometimes it takes. You know, particularly with what UIndy was doing offensively, you know, it takes you a couple possessions, maybe minutes to sort of get, you know, understand the rhythm of what they're trying to do. And I thought Chloe really came in from the beginning and guarded everything almost exactly how we wanted it to look like and be guarded. And so, you know, give her credit. You know, this is a kid, although that has practiced really well for us. She came in, she had a great summer, she's had a great preseason. So what might be a surprise for our fans who haven't yet got to see Chloe, you know, is something that we've been seeing in the last several months, which is really, really great.
Hi, Coach. Great
Hi,
game.
thanks.
I'm going to ask the same thing about Kiandra. You said in the last press conference that you're trying to get her off the bench more, and she's been really improving a lot. So, like, Chloe, what did you see from Kiandra tonight?
Well, you know, one of the frustrating, I thought at halftime, we were, as a staff, pretty frustrated with the fact that all of our bigs had 2 fouls. You know, we just didn't feel like UIndy, you know, because of, and again, what they lacked in size, that we should have been putting ourselves in positions and or situations where, you know, we have to rotate off the bench one post player to another post player because we got into foul trouble. That's never a good thing. And so there was a little bit of frustration there. But I thought, you know, KB is, she's an energy player, you know, to begin with. And, you know, once she gets, you know, and I will say this, she's an energy player that's finally healthy. You know, a year ago she wasn't healthy. But you know, she, I think once she gets settled in, she was a little, you know, I thought over energetic tonight, had a hard time catching, you know, had a couple loose catches there on the low block. She is a power player. She's an energy player. She's a great communicator defensively. You know, she is going to be an important part of what we do as we move forward. But I liked obviously getting her some good minutes. I thought was a good thing. You know, the one thing about KB is that she really tries to stay, you know, who she is. She doesn't try to be anybody she's not. And I just thought tonight, you know, there were a couple moments where, you know, I just felt like she got a little bit overzealous, overeager, and had a hard time hanging onto the ball on the low block, which could have been an easy just, you know, put back or post move, drop step. You know, she made it look a little bit more difficult.
Hi, Coach.
Hi.
Congrats on the win.
Thanks.
Allie and Mackenzie kind of talked about this too, just about the depth, and you kind of said that too, the depth of this
program. Can you kind of go more into depth on how much, I kind of noticed that tonight, that no matter what five was on the court, they all had, great chemistry, and they all had great rhythm. So can you kind of go?
Well, I appreciate you saying that about this group, because they're a great group. Chemistry always, have been well connected, and a lot of that has to do with our leadership from Allie, and Nikki and Graceberger and Mac. They are so also connected, and I think it's just, they're the example of what a good team that has great chemistry every day, and they walk their walk and they talk the talk, and so that's obviously paid dividends for us. Here's what I'll say about the depth. I thought a year ago we got into the Elite Eight game, and we started to look fatigued and tired against Arizona. And when we came back and we had an opportunity to evaluate and sort of look at, as we approach the summer, as we approach next year, we really have to have some depth. We have to have those guys that are going to come off the bench, and not just exist, but they're going to have to produce. And I thought Chloe was a great example of a kid that we've talked about in the off season. We really feel like she can help us. Kiandra Brown, the same thing. Caitlin Hose is a kid that's still trying to get acclimated to our system. She's a grad transfer from Georgia, so she has a little bit more experience. But I thought Caitlin Peterson tonight, our freshman, I thought she did some really good things. And, if she keeps progressing the way we hope she will. Now, I will say this, she's a worker. She's in here every single day. And we feel good about her progression as the season goes forward. But to say that depth matters, the teams that make the deepest runs, that I think have the success in March, are the ones that can rely on other players coming off the bench. And we have an old team. Allie is old. I can say that in a lovingly way. But she's older, so trying to protect her and manage her minutes is really critical, because she's so important to our team when she's out on the floor. And so we've tried to manage not just her, but also, Grace Berger's put a lot of mileage on her legs here in the last year and a half with making our deep run, playing with the AmeriCup team. And, these are two kids that you just can't keep them out of the gym. So it's sort of has become my job to try to manage them as much as I can. But certainly the depth part is going to be a key, I think, as we go into our pre-conference schedule, but certainly once we get into the Big Ten, and then, hopefully in postseason.
The privilege tonight was we got to see your whole entire roster play, which
Yeah.
was really awesome. Just to be able to see, how everybody works together as a team, kind of like she was saying. Do you foresee yourself using any of these non-starters when it comes to actual conference games, and do you think that they're going to be prepared for that?
Well, you're asking me to look in sort of into a crystal ball. I don't know. Obviously, performance matters, and we obviously are experienced, right? And you certainly want to be able to use your bench, but to sit here and say, the Big Ten's going to look just like it looked tonight is probably a careless comment from Coach Moren, right? Because it's probably just, reality is not going to happen, right? Realistically, it's just, once you kind of settle into your rotation, we kind of stick with that rotation. Not that those other kids, won't play in the big, but certainly their minutes may look a little bit different. Some of those young freshmen, you may not see them get off the bench. You may not, you may not. But in a perfect world, would you love to play them all the time? Yeah, but that's that's not realistic. At this level. I just want them to get better, right? If they're not able to play minutes, certainly inside of practice, if they can just get a little bit better. We are a process-oriented team program. We don't look ahead. I just want them getting better, a little bit better every day. And if they'll do that, then sooner or later, Allie Patberg's not going to be able to stay around here, right? And there's going to be an influx of other players, and so hopefully these kids will get great experience. But some of it's going to come by way of practice, playing against some really good players.